Yes, a special one from the CEO, Stan coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Morovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Fonjema, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat kepa, gradually, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon. You wanna get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah. Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today?
Spoon TV.
Yes, what you got today?
Spoon TV. Spoon Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment.
Yes, a special one from the CEO, Stan coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Morovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Morovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon.
yourself to have been able to secure the resources and seek blessing for our country, for unity, for us to be able to build this country for the benefit of our people. This is a special service to the nation, and we appreciate you taking the time to have made a sacrifice to go. And I'm happy to meet with all of you. We want to encourage peace and unity in this country. We thank Amaka Ability for working with us to have been able to secure the resources, give you a chance to go and seek blessing for our country, for unity, for us to be able to build this country for the benefit of our people. This is a special service to the nation, and we appreciate you taking the time to have made a sacrifice to go. And I'm happy to meet with all of you. We want to encourage peace and unity in this country. We want to encourage Liberia for Liberians so that we can prosper to our nation and be among the community of nations with respect. Your prayers are going to be heard. Almighty Allah is going to put us together. He's going to bless us. And all the sacrifices you made, He will bless them for the prosperity of this nation. Thank you so much for coming and coming all the way to be with us. We will have some other time to meet, but I just want to say that the Almighty Allah bless us all.
Ameen Allah. Thank you. So, folks, there are a group of Muslims who have come to welcome His Excellency President Joseph Newman Boakai here from the Barbados International Airport. There you have them here right there. So, folks, you have scores of Muslims here who received His Excellency President Joseph Newman Boakai here from So we would like to talk to Minister Benity to tell us exactly. Honourable Minister, we saw a group of Muslims. Oh, okay, sorry. Minister, Minister, welcome. We saw a group of Muslims here welcoming the president. Can you tell us a bit about this gathering?
Two questions.
Yes.
Yes. This gathering is a gathering of 243 Muslims about to embark on the holy journey of pilgrimage to Mecca. So myself, I'm part of the Hajj mission, so I'm going to be performing Hajj for the first time. So I'm very excited, and we're going to pray for the country for peace and unity.
Departure date.
Departure date today in 2 hours.
Okay, thank you so much.
Right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Minister Mamaka Benity is the minister with our portfolio. They are speaking to us about that gatherings of Muslims. Mr. Place Money, thank you so much for following. Excellency, welcome back to Liberia.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm Sylvester Chirople and I work for the Spoon Network. Welcome back. While you were away, many Liberians were concerned about a specific agreement from the 2024 Korea Africa Summit held in Seoul, because the Western other African head of states like Kenyan president who announced a few days ago that he secured 138 million for his country. So please, can you tell us exactly what were those specific agreements made between Liberia and South Korea?
How was the visit, Mr. President?
I don't know about it, 38 million. This was a summit. This Korea's first Korea-Africa summit, which brought the two people from the two continents together. And the idea was to see how we could work to tackle a lot of global issues, investment and confidence building, you know, Africa and Korea with their technical knowledge and so. And there were no, except for general announcement about 14 billion and 10 billion. Announcements were made, so we did not go for us to have specific, except for the investment forum where we met investors, the number of investors who are interested in coming to Africa, to Liberia, to invest in so many areas with technological transfer, but also the issue of scholarship, helping Liberians to go to Korea to learn, and Koreans to be in business.
Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? Yes, man, you back
Okay, so folks, again, we want to say welcome. Thanks to all of you for joining us tonight on another edition of the program. This is the Late Night Show, the Late Night Politics on Spoon. Thanks to our folks across Liberia who always make up time to be here, our radio audience. Thanks to our folks across the internet as well for being here tonight on another edition of the program. This is where we talk about Liberia, the issues, the unfoldings in the country. We get to talk about national issues and, of course, bring you critical analysis on those issues. We come here with diverse views discussing the interests of our country because Liberia is all we have. And one way we can get our country moving forward is when we can add our voices to the national discourse. And so I'd like to say welcome tonight. I'm Nelson Colette. Thanks to our folks. We're live on Spoon TV. We're live on Fabric TV. Sorry, we have a technical issue with Fabric TV, but we're live on Spoon TV on Facebook. And we're live on YouTube. Spoon Talk Live is the YouTube handle. Many thanks to our folks across Radio Land. We're live on 107.5 Spoon FM. We're live on Fabric 101.1 and Super 95.5 FM. Thanks to our partner radio stations across Liberia that are relaying this program as well. And let's hope we can have a great show here tonight. I want to welcome every single person. Thanks for joining us tonight. Kindly share the program as you come on. We will sincerely appreciate if you were to share the program as you come on tonight. And so we have a great show. Let's have a great conversation tonight. Let's talk about Liberia. Let's talk about the happenings in the country. And let's get to engage the national discourse. A lot has been happening in the country. We'll bring you up to speed with some of those happenings. And of course, we give you some analysis and give you the time to share your thoughts on those issues we will be talking about here tonight. But real quick, we will go to the comment section and recognize a few of you. Yes, I see a lot of you have already started joining us. Let us know where you're following from. I see Eddie Kawai is joining us. He says from Canada. Thanks for joining us. Timothy Smith is here as well. I see Michael Bala. I see Joseph Numa. I see Charlie Jackson is joining us as well. Thanks for joining us, Charlie. And I see a lot of you joining us. Dixon Tamba, Timothy Smith. I see, yes, all of you joining us tonight, man. Thanks for joining us. Kindly share the program as you come on tonight. Let's have a great conversation. And I want to say thanks to our folks in Radio Land as well. Sincere apologies to our ardent followers. Yes, we didn't bring you the late night show last evening as due to some technical issues beyond our control, but it's a good thing that we're here tonight to have the discourse. And so again, welcome. Thanks to all of you for joining us tonight on the show. A lot to talk about, so much to talk about tonight. but we're going to keep the ball rolling with the conversation tonight. Let me quickly go across and bring the team on. So we start the conversation. Um, let me bring uh, let me bring Vasco on. I see Vasco is in the background. I'm going to bring Vasco on shortly. But okay, so let's see if we can get this one coming through. Okay, Vasco, thanks for joining us tonight. It's good to have you on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Nelson, I'm hearing you.
Okay, great. I see Toure is in the background as well. Toure, welcome to the show. Can you hear me?
Listen, I can hear you.
So you can hear. Oh,
What's up, Nelson?
Toure,
What's up, guys?
Go up.
Toure, you can hear at all?
No, it's good now. I have my stuff plugged in.
You know, it's so interesting. Sometimes the folks get to join the show. When they join in, their gadget will be on mute, and then they be commenting, no sound in the comment section. And then, but everyone, you sometimes you have hundreds of people watching, and no one is talking about sound. But that person just coming on is saying no sound. You know. So what Toure did just reminded me of that. But it's a good thing that we're here tonight on the weekend edition of the program. We weren't here last night. We had a lot going on. I've been in Grand Bassa County for the Senate retreat that's ongoing. And it's been a hectic one. At some point, I got stuck last evening, so we couldn't have the show. But it's a good thing that we're here tonight. I'm currently producing. Don't get carried away. Don't get carried away by the background. I'm producing from an unusual location tonight.
I can tell.
Okay, so that's great. But it's a good thing that we're here, and I want to welcome you guys. Let's get straight into the show. Let's start the show. Let's start. You know,
go ahead, Nelson. Let's start it.
Interestingly, Anthony, welcome to the show. Anthony is coming with a whole headset. Anthony, I'm coming to get that headset from you to put it on because I'm used to having that headset on whenever I sit here.
You like it?
That's nice.
It's cool because
this handset been with me almost 2 years now. It's very good.
It's wireless,
very
right,
good.
Anthony? Anthony, it's wireless, right?
Yes, wireless. And also it has an extension cord when you're traveling. You can get plugged into the plane. You get it. So you don't need that headphone that you can use on the plane.
Right.
There's a cord for it. There's a cord. They got the audio jack. That's a meaning for it. You had an audio jack that you can plug into it as well. So, yeah.
Nice.
And also, a Bluetooth, stuff. So yeah, it's very good.
It's
music. It's a noise eraser when you play music, man. You don't get nobody around you, man.
Come on. Stop teasing.
Yeah. We'll get deeper into that, but that'll be another conversation for another day.
So let's get into it.
I can say the brand is what is it? It's AKG. You can look it up on Amazon. It's a very good brand.
AKG, yeah, it's a good brand. It's a good brand. Without doing any form of free marketing, I think it's a good brand.
Man. That's a very good brand, man. I'm telling you.
We're not giving any free PR.
Toure comes from the PR background. He understands what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But let's get into the show. Let's do our opening 1 minute quickly. Vasco.
I didn't see the topic.
Come again.
What's the topic tonight?
Basically, let's do our
opening first.
Let's do the opening first.
Because of the way the guy is positioned, I had to pull him up here and bring Vasco down a little bit. Vasco, you good, right?
Yeah.
So,
but for me, how come Vasco in the car? The other day in the car, you have the PDRA.
No, Vasco is
No,
not
my man, I'm
moving.
moving, man.
The car is not
I just
moving
parked
until
here.
Hold on. The
I'm
rule
out
that you
here.
should not be
I'm
moving. No, hold
Oh
on.
yeah.
You can't be in
Not
car
the rules.
or the, you should not be moving because
No, the car should not be
there's
moving.
no way I'll be on live and it'll be moving.
No, the
Oh,
car should
well,
not be
no,
moving.
Listen,
it's possible, Anthony. Come on. Lot of people
I'm
do
telling you,
that thing all the time.
I'm in the car for a few minutes, and I will join you. I don't want to give my opening statement, and then I will. In
No,
the
brother.
very
The father will get talk in the car, no
You better
problem.
not make it.
Most of the time I can be on the go, my man. So at least I can enjoy myself.
You know,
yeah, you can
you
still
know,
join
guys,
us.
you know, a lot has been happening. Liberian people have been concerned. We're going to do our opening, but Liberians have been concerned. A lot has been happening. You can talk about the president's trip from Korea. The president made a brief remark today at the airport. You can talk about what's happening with the Senate. They have a retreat going on, something I've been following very closely, providing coverage for a couple of days now. But on the sideline of all of those happenings, there are appointments going on in government. People are still being appointed in government. And one of the recent appointments that has caught the attention of so many people is the one with Queen Johnson. You guys know we invited Queen on the show the other time. She was here. We had a great conversation. Police tried to arrest her. They alleged that she was involved with this situation with Joshua. Since in fact no, we got on mute. Since in fact there was an allegation about her involvement with the Joshua thing and all of that. Police said they wanted to get some words from her. Vasco, if for any reason you have to, listen to music and all of that, then you just have to mute. So that, yeah. So, but we woke up to the information about her appointment as Director of Records at the National Port Authority. This is one of several appointments.
I don't know.
This is, guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vasco's struggling. He's struggling.
Yeah, but Vasco, you have to. Vasco, you have to.
Forget yourself.
Yeah, if I see a minute, get up, get under the fire, right on the road up for them.
Yeah, I can't even park in the area no more.
Well, Vasco, you know I'm a gay. I couldn't quite say, my man, meet yourself.
Okay, so let me remove Vasco once he said he was
Yeah.
going to come. So this is something that a lot of people have been talking about, folks. This is something that has drawn the attention of so many Liberians. Well, there are those who are for and against. Francis, welcome to the show. There are those who are for and there are those who are against. A conversation has been going on around that. Another one has been the president's trip to Korea. Again, Liberians have been divided on this issue. The president said, based on the engagement and all of what happened, a good number of investors will be coming to the country or will be expressing interest in investing in several sectors in the country. He spoke of education. Liberians will have the opportunity to go to Korea and attend school and a whole lot. Well, there are others who still don't see anything positive about this trip, who see the trip as a waste of time and national resources. And a lot has been going on in the country. The Senate has been in Bassa. They're talking about national issues. For the first time, Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence is talking about the need for the legislature to be audited on an annual basis, since in fact, a very huge chunk of the national budget goes towards that branch of government. While we're talking about this, the judiciary is rejecting the 20 million allotted to that branch of government on grounds that the other two branches of government are treating them like some sort of
A stepchild.
some branch of government that's not important. When the legislature will be taking over 80 million, the executive taking a very huge chunk of the budget, and then you're giving judiciary just 2.8% of the national budget. All of these things are happening, but let's do our opening, and then we can move on with the rest of the conversation tonight. I want to say welcome to Francis and welcome to everyone for joining us. Thanks. Let's move to you, to Ray, to do your opening, and then we can get it.
Yeah, Nelson, thank you very much. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all of our viewers here in the United States and around the world. It's great to be on, Francis, Anthony, man, great to be with you guys. Look, what's on my mind? I'm talking about the whole saga here between Kebe and his, should I say, his estranged wife, Miss Saju. Look, if we're gonna give people the opportunity to come and speak on the platform, and I think we should have the same energy, in terms of, you know, the kind of question that we asked them. We saw Kebe, the guy, the ambassador at large. He was on prior to his ex-wife now, coming on today, and some of the questions that the lady were asked, I mean, if he asked me, to be quite honest, some are out of the box, you know. Even the CEO and Fadiga, for me personally, the way they were interested in terms of the line of questioning, how strategic it was, we didn't see that same energy when they were asking Kebe. Fadiga didn't even ask they do any question. I mean, CEO was just playing around. So I think she will not do justice today, and that's something that I'm really disturbed by. That's on my mind. And I mean, and we're gonna go on other issues with the legislature and Ms. Johnson and all that other stuff down the road. But so right now, that was wide on my mind. And thank you very much.
Nothing, you froze?
Okay, sorry. You can go ahead, Anthony, and then Francis will be next.
Good evening, everyone, fellow Parliamentarians, and good evening to our viewers and listeners on the radio as well. My name is Anthony Gay, and I'm speaking from the United States. Yeah, I'm excited tonight to be on a platform to discuss matters pertaining to Liberia. I am disappointed in the trip to South Korea, and I'm going to lay out why I'm disappointed in the trip. I know people will say, oh, the government just came into office and blah, blah, blah. And yes, indeed. Things that I've talked about before, and I will say it again tonight, the government have not touched it. So part of that reason, South Korea did not commit to Liberia, but committed to other African countries that walk away with hundreds of millions of dollars. Not promissory note, or not MOU, or not feature investor will come and assess, but physical cash. We're talking about millions of dollars. With the issue of the appointment of Queen Johnson, very upsetting because of the unresolved issue concerning her involvement with the late Joshua, and for the Unity Party being a party that ran on the mantra of rule of law. I'm just going to leave it there, and when I get the opportunity to come back, I'll give specificity as it relates to these issues.
Yeah, good evening, good morning to everybody. It's good to be here again. To Ray, Anthony, Nelson, it's good to be with you guys. For me, I always like being here to talk about what's going on in Liberia, but as you guys know, you guys will get tired of me. My opening and closing is going to be about the final situation in Liberia and what can we all do to help our people in Liberia, give them a fighting chance. So I've been working and collecting begging people for money and smoke alarm and all this stuff, you know, trying to put a raffle out for people to contribute. But it seems like a lot of folks are not interested in the raffle because as of now, I've only received money donation from 2 people, and one of our sister also called me, who will be joining the raffle on Tuesday. But all is not lost, you know. As I was coming down to join the show, my wife brought a box to me. I don't know who sent me 10 smoke alarm. I really appreciate you. This just came in today as I was walking down the door. There was no name on the box. So far, I think there's only one person on the late night show I've given my address to. So it's possible it's from some of my family members or friends that I've been asking. Maybe send it, but there's 10 smoke alarm in this box. I really do appreciate everybody that are making it or taking it personally like I am taking it. Like I said, when I saw the video of that kid burn and I heard that he passed away the next day, it broke me. So this is not about politics, it's about our country. So that we can all just rally. Even if you can't afford it, I appreciate you passing the message on to your family and friends. Let us raise at least 1,000 smoke alarm in Central Liberia. It's not enough, but let's show that we care, you know, to help our people. One smoke alarm I can get at Home Depot for $7.49. I would take one if somebody can send it. But if you can send 10, if you can send 20, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's help our people. You know, they find it out of control. We can't leave it on the government to do everything for our people. You know, we sit on this platform and criticize the government, hold their feet to the fire. Rightly so, because they're supposed to provide better quality of life for our people. But until that can happen, I'm begging each and every one of us to take it personally. Take our country personally and whatever we can do to help our country in our own weak way. I know things are hard outside in the U.S. People think it's all gravy. Every penny you get in the U.S. or outside Liberia, you have to work for it. Nobody give you $5 for free. So I know every one of us are working hard to pay our bills here. But let's help our people, because that one smoke alarm that you donate, you don't know whose life it will save. It will be the life of somebody you know or somebody that knows somebody. We all are connected in Liberia. So please, let's help make this thing possible for our people. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Francis, and it's a very important one. We had to push the date for the raffle, as most of you are aware. So, Francis, next week, all on the show, we will make our own commitment, and we will start it from there. We'll keep the ball rolling from there. But at the end of the day, it's not really about the PS5. It's about the initiative. It's about helping to save lives. You know how important this fire alarm is, this smoke alarm is, and how much of an impact it's going to make. So kindly reach out to Francis, be part of this initiative. Let's help to save a life in Liberia. So I want us to get into the conversation now. Let's start with this right here. Upon the return of the president.
Excellency, welcome back to Liberia.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm Sylvester Chiroplen. I work for the Spoon Network. Welcome back. While you were away, many Liberians were concerned about a specific agreement from the 2024 Korea Africa Summit held in Seoul. Because the other African head of states, like Kenyan president, who announced a few days ago that he secured $138 million for his country. So please, can you tell us exactly what were those specific agreements made between Liberia and South Korea?
How was the visit, Mr. President?
I don't know about it, $38 million. This was a summit. This Korea's first Korea-Africa Summit, which brought the two people from the two continents together. And the idea was to see how we could work to tackle a lot of global issues, investment and confidence building, Africa and Korea with their technical knowledge and so on. And there were no, except for general announcement about 14 billion and 10 billion. Announcements were made, so we did not go for us to have specific, except for the investment forum where we met investors, the number of investors who are interested in coming to Africa, into Liberia, to invest in so many areas with technological transfer, but also the issue of scholarship, helping Liberians to go to Korea to learn, and Koreans coming here to do business.
So there you have it. Let's start with you, Toure. Toure, in all fairness, just listening to the president speak, was this trip a success or a failure? Now, and I like the way the question was asked when Sylvester engaged the president. Kenya is boasting of millions as a result of this very engagement. Other African countries, but our president came back and he's telling Liberians that, look, it's going to get better. The president came back and he's giving hope to the Liberian people that you may not have heard of millions of dollars or billions coming to Liberia, but educationally and in other aspects, this country is going to benefit. Let's start with you, Toure. Is it, at this point, can we say that this trip was a success or a failure? Can we unmute as we give the stage to Francis? Yeah, go ahead.
So Nelson, thank you, bro.
Toure. Yeah.
Nelson, thank you very much. You see, success, failure will be relative, depending who you ask the question. For me personally, holding everything constant, I personally not going to sit here and say this was not an engagement that the president could have missed. There's an opportunity. I mean, African Summit is an opportunity to social network. It's an opportunity. There is no bad outcome from going to this kind of summit. And I'm pretty sure everybody here can agree with me on that. We don't know the details. You know, we can talk about Kenya, we can talk about all these countries. And what Kenya and Liberia has in common. They are far developed than us. They have all of their infrastructure, everything in tight. This government just taking over. They have to identify areas to where they're going to build that connection with South Korea through. You don't have all of this detailed layout yet. No investor or nobody just going to go commit certain amount of money to you. So we have to put these things in context. Have GMB identify all of these things?
Toure, let me interrupt you a bit. Someone may just be concerned. Yes, this government is just coming to power. This government is new. But the president, some of those in authority now are not new. Remember, this is the Unity Party that was in authority for 12 years in this country.
Okay.
They know how to work their way around the international community. This administration, especially the president, has a wealth of experience. Yes, Kenya and some of those other countries might be far ahead of us in terms of development. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about now. If we are to focus on how long the government has been in power, do you think that argument is going to sell, Toure?
Well, Nelson, a lot of people say, well, this government, JMB been in politics for half of his lives, right? And Unity Party, they are not, sort of like rookie to governance in the country because they obviously led the country 12 years. But you have to understand, this is a Unity Party that just taken over from a government take over the country. So there are a lot of agreements, there are a lot of contracts that were signed. Some of these contracts have not been exhausted yet. And I know we all can agree to that. So you can't bring new contract on top of this thing. So look, I'm not here to make excuse for Unity Party. You and I know Nelson will been on here now, see for a little while since they took over. I've had my reservation on issues in areas that we're going to have opportunity to get in some of these areas right now. But any engagement of that magnitude, like getting invitation to go to a summit, that are going to expose you to a lot of, like businesses and philanthropists and people that can change your fortune by you just being in their mix. That is an opportunity that you can't turn down. So, I mean, people, like I said, it's going to be subjective. Everybody's going to have their spin. I'm pretty sure Anthony's going to disagree with everything I've said here. But by the end of the day, you cannot look at this and consider it a failure. The education and the student exchange stuff that the president is talking about, these are areas that we can exploit in terms of technology. There are a lot of people in our country, Anthony, you obviously work in our sector. You know exactly how vibrant that area can be in terms of agriculture, road maintenance, and all of these things. So people need to go out. People need to get exposed to some of these things. And I think if that's going to be the benefit that Liberia can gain from South Korea, so be it. That is an invaluable opportunity that no amount of dollar can actually quantify. So look, it's a good thing. Liberia don't have anything. So any of these opportunities come up, it's always good that we expose our government to it. And the president did just that. And we can talk about other issues, man, where we can give our disagreement on. But this one, I have none.
Wow. Anthony, let's hear you on this.
Yeah, like I stated that I was going to speak about that. So, Ture, you did not preempt what I want to say. I already told you what I was going to say. So, but let me just say this, right, Ture? It is very unfortunate, right, for our country, Liberia, where we are. We are in the mud. We need the heavy duty tow truck, not regular tow truck, but the semi-automatic tow truck to pull us out of the mud. And then they send a guy and came there and looked around and said, okay, I'm going to go see if I can find a tow truck. Not I'm sending a semi-automatic tow truck to pull you out of the mud, but I'm going to see if we can find a tow truck to come. He didn't give you commitment. What am I saying here? I'm saying, did you see Kenya's presentation? Kenya made a compelling presentation at the summit. They introduced something that they want to have, a technology hub. And that proposed budget was $150 million United States dollars. But because that presentation was very captivating and won the heart and mind of those people, Kenya walked away with $250 million. They made a technology hub pitch to the South Korean government that we are prepared to have this hub of technological environment in our country, and yes, what they're going to do, and yeah, the dividends. The same way they show the Liberia people a 3D presentation with the yellow machine. They didn't go to South Korea to show a 3D presentation that was going to captivate the mind of the South Korean. You understand? When you come to the table, if I were to be part of JMB team, I will pitch for two things for Liberia. Number one, before we even go to South Korea, JMB, since you came into office, the number one thing you need to address in Liberia, and now, take it for free advice tonight, electricity. No other developmental agenda you will carry on in this 21st century technological economy without electricity. We need change at LEC. We need drastic change at LEC. LEC cannot be a parasite to the government of Liberia, but rather should be used as revenue generating engine of the Liberian government. What do I mean by that? We were told that currently we have 200,000 subscribers, meaning customers. If we can take, just for the sake of this discussion, $50 per month for each customer. There are some people that are paying more than $50. There are some people that are paying less than $50. Just for the sake of this discussion, that will yield $12 million a month, right? It will yield $12 million a month. Multiply that by 12, that's $148 million.
Anthony, are you here with us?
I was getting a phone call. Sorry, guys, I was getting a phone call. So, again, we can't sit here and joke with Liberia. Where we are right now, MOU cannot cut it for us. You talk about student exchange? Let me, hold on.
Again, zero in on this aspect. Was this trip a failure or a success?
This trip was a failure for Liberia. Because where we are right now, we are in the mud. We need a heavy duty tow truck to pour out. Where is that heavy duty truck? Liberia right now cannot progress with. It is inevitable to do development in Liberia without taking loan, without concession dues, without any form of infusing money into the economy. We cannot afford it. The legislature just passed their budget. They're going to give them $30 million plus for each lawmaker. The representatives should walk away with $100,000, and the senator going to walk away with $150,000 each, quote unquote, legislative projects. You understand? They're not supposed to do that. Well, agriculture barely got enough money in it. Arrest. The mantra that the GMB camp ran on. Agriculture is the first thing on the list of arrest. It got $4 million in the budget, national budget. What can $4 million do for our country when our staple food, we importing 95% of our staple food, when we need to be growing our staple food and at least reduce the rice import? If any economic come and tell you today we can stop importing rice, they will be lying to you. But we can reduce rice import by at least 35 to 45 or maximum 50% in about 3 to 5 years time.
Francis, sorry, not Francis.
So we failed on this trip. We spent a lot of money, close to $500,000 was spent on this trip, and we came back with zero. Only empty paper was signed.
Okay, so Anthony, we are talking about a trip here, and you went and brought in electricity. Yes, your take is that the whole idea, the whole challenge of electricity is something that would have been sold very well and bought by potential investors, at the summit.
Correct.
And then
because
you are bringing in, come here, let me just land on this.
Oh, okay,
You are bringing in other aspects, other areas. You talked about a little bit of agriculture and other things you're talking about. But for instance, is this a quick fix? This is a summit that this president is going to for the first time. Someone may say this is the first summit he's going to. I mean, this is the first trip of the president to Korea. Is it possible? And like to report it,
first impression matters to everything. First impression matters.
Yeah, and again, you may be right on the presentation aspect and all of that, but what it took, how long it took Kenya to put everything she put into her presentation, to put everything she put into the process to get what she got. I mean, can we say the same about Liberia? How long has it taken this government to even position herself well, to prepare herself for this summit. I mean, Lisa talk about a government getting all it takes to effectively sell her agenda. I mean, I may be wrong, but just conclude, then we take Francis. Anthony, are you still here?
So, you know, when I hear people write or comment and say, oh, but the CDC destroyed, the house was on fire. JMB told the Liberian people, nobody in this race understands Liberia problem more than me. I'm the most experienced, most qualified individual in this race. I'm the only person who can defeat George Weah, and I'm the only person who understands Liberia's plight, and I can develop the country. This is why my rescue team is here to rescue the country. Newsflash, winning an election is not rescuing a country. Winning an election only gives you the opportunity to implement mechanisms that will rescue the country. So now we are here. And we cannot sit here and continue. Look, right now the Liberian people patience span have been cut off. They don't have patience any longer. We need not quick fix of everything, but we need to see a trending path to success. Meaning, you touch this one, even if it's not out of it, but we see a progress. They can rush to the internet and say, oh, 285 yellow machine is coming to Liberia soon. Yay! But all of that was to quiet down the noise of the rice price on the market. Where is that yellow machine today? That's another story, right? If the president was going to get $1 million from South Korea, hey, GMB is the man. But because he didn't get nothing there now, they say, oh, we must wait. Well, where we should wait when people walking away with $250 million, $150 million? And I mean, come on.
Thank you, Anthony. I can see you came today on the show to hit on the government. I don't know how to put it. I understand Mr. Cummings is making a comeback. Mr. Cummings is contemplating on coming back into politics bigly. So the likes of Anthony will start to play his opposition role, and I think that's what you're doing now, Anthony. But at the end of the day, you criticize the yellow machine situation. You were one of those persons who sat and were very critical about yellow machine, but now you're going back and asking about the yellow machine, the very yellow machine you criticize. You're asking where are the yellow machines. So maybe
I said I use it to buy time. That's what I said.
As to whether you want this government to succeed or you want this government to fail, so that Mr. Cummings can have a free ride, which he did not have in the previous election. But let's take Frank. Let
me get answer this question. If this government fails, Cummings' work will be hard. I want this government to succeed. If this government fails, we all fail. So I'm not hoping for the government to fail.
Thank you. Francis, please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, you know.
Was this trip a failure or a success, the president's trip?
First, to even talk about failure or success, you gotta look at where the country is, right? And you gotta look at the people when you go to ask for money. You know, our brother. Anyway, opposition will always do that, so that's good. But first of all, every country that donates money to other countries, they are donating taxpayers' dollars. I want people to understand that clearly. When the United States give money to any country, including Liberia, those are all working here are paying taxes. I want money they send to those countries. So the reason I'm saying this is because the taxpayer want to see where the money going and what came out of it. And what's coming out of it. For time immemorial, our country, Liberia, has not proven to the international community that we deserve anything. The reason I say this, our people deserve a lot, the citizens. For our country, which I mean the leaders, don't show the international community that we deserve anything. Just before I even go to the trip.
Francis, I have to interrupt you. We are talking about the trip, the president's trip.
Yes.
Now you want to drag us back to what the CDC did, what the CDC did not do.
No. This is not about CDC and about CDC. It's about all of our past. Let me make my point.
Because for instance, I mean, we will start to give a blind eye to the real issues when we continue to go back to what the other party did and what the other party.
That's not what I said. You misconstruing what I'm saying. It's not about CDC. It's about all of our past administration. But the most recent example is the former U.S. ambassador that criticized the last administration for the medical supplies or donations that were made to the country. But let's look at Anthony want to talk about Kenya making presentation about wanting to create a technology hub, right? Kenya and Liberia are not on the same wavelength. First of all, the people infrastructure is far superior than Liberia's. So for him to come and talk about Kenya getting $250 million, yes, the people already have the foundation set up. They already have the foundation set up. So when they come to a place like that and talk about what they want to do to improve on it, not South Korea looking at, or investors from South Korea looking at, okay, yeah, we can invest in a technology hub in Kenya because they have the infrastructure, the security, the role to support that, and we'll get return on our investment. But when can Liberia make a pitch for a technology hub to be in Liberia? We do not even have electricity. How can we support that?
Let's do this. Let's do this. I know Ture has a point to make. We'll go to Ture, but let's do this, Francis. Anthony just spoke of the presentation. How well Kenya was able to sell their technology hub through their presentation. And they got 250 million. And then he spoke of the LEC, the electricity challenge we have in the country, as one of the very issues that could be solved very well based on how you present it to potential investors and how much of an investment it would have attracted to the country.
Nelson, let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, when the broke person, the average Liberian go to the bank to get a loan, do they get it? When the average Liberian, ordinary Liberian that got keke or whatever the case may be, or not even having keke, I want money. When they go to the bank will not give it to them. But when the rich people go to the bank will be happy to give them money. Do you know why? Because the bank know that these people will give me my money back with interest. That's business. So with Kenya going to over the other countries that work away with money, they already have things to offer. And they already have foundations set up in their country that whatever investment given to them, the investor will have return. But what can Liberia tell the people over there other than tell them, come and see us? It's like in the US, when you have bad credit. It doesn't mean you can pay your debt. But when you go to the bank to borrow money or you go to get a loan, they look at you and say, you know what, this man is a risky investment if I invest in this man. If somebody come and open a technology hub in Liberia, that's a risk, a major risk. You know what? Security is there. No electricity, no running water, no infrastructure that in place to support such major investment. So before I can talk about failure, we should try to congratulate our leaders when they go out, especially leaders that go out and try to put Liberia on the world stage. Because past leaders, from the WIA to the LEO, everybody before us, they have not laid the foundation. I'm not saying President Parker will lay the foundation, but we are hoping, because our people have suffered for far too long. So we're hoping that his administration will set the foundation for the future leader that will come after him. That when he or she go out there to lobby for investors, they can look and say, okay, you know what? When I go in Bapolo County or River G and put my technology hub over there or build my hotel in that county, guess what? That county has hundreds of thousands of people, and they are all working, and the road connectivity is good. So people will leave from miles away to come to my county. Look at common example when the musicians in Liberia have that concert. Why do they usually have that concert in Monserrado County? Do they even make a lot of money? Why? Because people from other counties can barely even make their way to the concert. And why people there don't even have jobs. So before you come and talk about other countries working over millions of dollars, look at what your country don't have. So, and what can you build on? So President Barack Obama didn't talk about all the South Korea talk about giving scholarship to our folks. Let's hope that become a reality, so that our people in Liberia, our students in Liberia, can go outside and advance themselves and come back, but also build on what we have here. The people see us and think we are a joke, right? How can we be begging people for money? We say we don't have money, but like Anthony Redley put it, $100 and some more $1,000 given to individual lawmaker for unaccounted development or individual project. Why should lawmakers be receiving money for projects? People look at that and say, how can you be begging me for money when you can just cut the fats for the other places and you have millions of dollars to put to these places you are begging us for money from? How can you say somebody should be making $15,000 or $7,000 a month when you cut their salary? You will save millions of dollars. So the people think we are a joke. So for you to say it was a failure, it was not a failure. You should look at the reality. You are not compared. When I say you personally, I'm talking about our beloved country, Liberia. We are not on the level of Kenya and these other countries that can go and beat their chest and say, you know what, if you give me $250 million, this is what I will do with it, and this is what will happen. This will be the return on your investment. Can Liberia say that? You see the point, be looking at Liberia, feast for give you all that money. They've been doing it for years. And nothing come out of it.
Right, Francis, this is the other side of the conversation. A lot of people who don't buy the argument you're selling right now subscribe to the thoughts that, look, this is a government that comes with experience. This is a government whose commander-in-chief has over 42 years of experience in governance, served as vice president. I'm not coming, Francis. Served as vice president, second man in command in the entire country for 12 unbroken years. Was able to earn the trust, the admiration of the international community over the period of 12 years. Granted, he was defeated in 2017, but he made a strong comeback in 2023 with the support of Liberians across the world, especially in the diaspora. Francis,
let's not be serious here.
Is there any excuse? Is there any excuse for Liberia not attracting huge investment, if not like Kenya, but at least close to Kenya?
Can 12 years of experience tell an investor, you know what? Beautiful county like Maryland County, let me go there and build my hotels. You will die poor. Because who over there to stay in your hotel? The type of hotels that people want to build. Can 12 years of experience tell somebody, go and build your Toyota factory in Sano County, where you don't have stable electricity in the country. The infrastructure is not there, so it doesn't matter how much experience President Braga has. What we need to pray for is, we need to get to the place where we can say, you know what? Liberia is now producing about 40% of her rice. Then when you go to somebody and say, you know what? I need machines to get my rice production from 40% to 60%. You know what I will say? Oh, when this president came into office, Liberia was at maybe 10% or 2% of domestic rice production. But in 2-3 years, he has brought that and taken that to 40%. So he showed the potential that when I invest in him, he can see that 20% he's talking about. It's possible that he can go to 70% and I'll get good return on my investment. But you can tell somebody, say, oh, give me invest in my country. I want to take my domestic rice production to 60%. When you are not even producing 5% for yourself, they will laugh at you and say you're not serious. So that's why I give the analogy that the banks run to people. Like when you got good credit in this country, Nelson, The banks are sending you credit cards. How do you get money? Or your credit score show that is good. Then they join credit card your way. 10,000 here, 20,000 here, 40,000 here. But the person that have no money, you think it'll be the opposite, right? If you got no money, they should give it to you. But no, the bank give money to people that they know will pay them back with interest. But if you give that money to somebody who's broke, that's a risky investment. In Liberia right now, we love our country, but Liberia is a risky investment for any investor. So we just need to pray that things change, the foundation gets built during the 6 years, so that other countries can look at it and say we're on the right track. But other than that, you cannot say that trouble to failure.
Let's say if I may 45 seconds, please. Please.
Yeah, you got in.
45 seconds. I may not even complete 45 seconds, please. I need to rebut something he said.
We're gonna give you the time, but Toure had his hand off for some time, so let's listen to Toure, and we're gonna give you your 5 seconds.
Nelson, at the end of the day, we are not even factoring into something that Anthony did not even look at. What is Liberia's credit rating right now? We know exactly what GMB now gonna do. GMB, he's not one of those guys that are gonna subject the country to some kind of sensationalized, or loan or something like that, where people say, yeah, the president not bring money. No, the loan or whatever money that the president going to bring the country is going to be substance based. All right, it's not going to be something like just for the sake of coming to the country with that kind of instant gratification or posture. Oh, the president went to South Korea, he came with money. No. All right, GMB, like he's such a how do you call it, like a professional, law-abiding kind of dude that just not gonna go like that for someone to just get them money and not put it in the right place. Unlike CDC, unlike the Jowiya-led government, they didn't care. One of them even said that even if they should take the money from the devil. You know what I'm saying? Like, we heard these things. So they didn't care about the consequences of what they were doing to the country. But let me tell you this. Anthony says something which is absolutely right. That GMB should have all of the experiences now to keep the ball rolling. But Anthony, I know you drive, right? And if you marry, there is something written that say object may look closer than it appears, right? I mean, look, we all can look at something. If we are not in it, we can make all these assumptions as to how we can come and solve the problem. But once you're in a picture, things are different, bro. I mean, drastically, things you be like, damn, I didn't even know this how deep this thing was. So I mean, look, we know everybody experience is the best teacher, right? Let's give this government. Look, there are a lot of areas that I can punch this government in. A lot of areas, but taking advantage of opportunity to go to a summit. I mean, if you went to school here, they always told us, right, Anthony, right, to take advantage of some of these social networking, places, right? You go there, you meet people, you network. These are opportunities that you cannot afford to not take advantage of. So, look, at the end of the day, this is good. There are a lot of areas that we can criticize the government on, but going and besides, like I said again, let me go back to this. Looking at Liberia, I'm even shocked that Kenya then still going to these places, still going to South Korea then for money. I mean, see, for crying out loud, bro. Come on, man. That Liberia and Sierra Leone should be going over there now. But nevertheless.
No. Forget Kenya. Forget Kenya.
I mean, bro. I mean, I'm just.
When you want drier clothes, any direction is.
But you see, that's the thing, though.
And where you hang the clothes.
So let me help you here, Toure. Africa's national budget of 2023 was 17.5 billion United States dollars. Exactly. But yet, but hold on now.
Was Africa
No, hold on.
Yeah, no. Anthony, let's get to it. End up in a few seconds, and you.
Okay. I'm gonna throw out why people go to these places, but I'll get a chance.
Anthony, one thing I believe, right? When you go to these places, you don't want to go on some scam level, right? You want to go with, you want to go realistic goals, right? Goals that can be, you know what I mean?
Measurable and feasible goal, yes.
Exactly, reasonable, rational, rationalized and all of that stuff, right?
Nothing ambiguous, yes.
Right. That when you pitching it to people can actually look at it like if country like Sierra Leone and Kenya go pitch, obviously, they've been in that process now for a while. But look, we can all agree that Joey Akim, all of the infrastructure that Ellen Johnson has something, don't man, didn't pay mind with these things. These guys, they did not really do well. They did not serve the country the way they should have, and you will not know it until you actually go on the ground and see exactly what these things are. So I'm gonna give the president a pass, and I know very well Anthony will always come with his opposition posture and try to make issue out of things that.
Thank you. And to me, take 2 seconds, then we take Peter.
Okay, let me guys say this, right? If JMB administration failed, Liberia failed, Anthony Gay failed, I'm in no business of hoping that this government failed. I want this government to take it to one step so that hopefully if we have the opportunity to lead Liberia, so we don't have to go all the way back. But let me just say two things here, one to Francis and one to Toure. Toure, in 2023, Africa worked with $1.5 billion a project from Japan out of the African-Japanese Summit, just at the Korean African Summit, all right? And they got the Toyota deal right now. They're assembling all Toyota vehicles that should be supplied in the entire West Africa. They have the assembly plant. But Africa is well developed. Why Africa still going to these places? Job opportunity for our people and economic growth, okay? And also giving the people the skill set, right? Francis, you talk about, in Maryland, they'll go for hotel. No, they will not for hotel. You know what they'll do in Maryland? Invest into agriculture, my brother. In the entire West Africa, Liberia possesses up to 46% of the rainforest in the entire West Africa. Our forest can be compared to that of the Amazon, the largest forest in the world. The quality, the texture, the condensity of our forest can be compared to that of the Amazon. That is the reason why Liberia should benefit from CO2, carbon emissions, because our forest cleans the carbon pollution in the air. That money is supposed to be coming to Liberia if our EPA people will do the right job. You understand? So, Liberia could have made a pitch for agricultural development. And agriculture will take Liberia from 1 year to 3 years' time. Money will start flowing, job creation, food security, and you name it. Agriculture. Instead of giving lawmakers 100,000, 150,000, we can invest into agriculture and grow our own food.
Nelson, let me just take, since he mentioned me, take 20 seconds to correct Anthony. Anthony, you're not understanding. I don't think you understand what you're saying and what I said, because you just made my point very strong when you talk about the Toyota plan in Ivory Coast. You're talking about Ivory Coast 2023 budget was $1 billion. So you made my point very clear when I said
17.5 billion. 17.
Thank you. Even better. You made my point very strong when I said Liberia cannot be compared to the other countries because Liberia is a risky investment. Ivory Coast is a developed country. Ivory Coast has the infrastructure already set up. So Japan said Ivory Coast is a good investment. So they will get return on investment. And you talk about agriculture. We don't even have good roads in the country. We don't even have stable electricity. How can you sustain large-scale agriculture for an investor? That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about us locally because we can do everything in Liberia. But if you want somebody from outside to come and invest in your country, brother, the president can say, where am I going to drive the machines to? How am I going to maintain the machines in the country? So it's not just about, let it come. Other people get it too. Liberia is a bad investment for now, but we pray that we get better. And we should all do.
Thank you. Let's move to Peter. Peter, was the president's trip a success or a failure?
Well, thank you. Let me begin by saying hi to each and everyone that is following the platform tonight. And basically, I think in my mind, the president's trip was not a failure, because when you want to contextualize the trip, We want to come from many perspectives as to how these trade are organized and how achievable it is from the general standpoint. You want to understand some of these trade is not like, before I move forward, basically, when you talk about other countries carrying 200 million or whatsoever million they carry, it is not just the normal way we think as to how people go to these conferences and take money and go. There are specific areas that you can present on, or you wanting to be developing your country, that the country or the South Korea will wanting to give you some level of, if it is cat, or it is moral education and whatsoever things that they have to give that will amount to that amount, right? So let's get these things clear. So I listened to Anthony. Anthony, I think you scratched a very good point. And basically, I know sometimes people want to show their opposition to these things, to wanting to make people know that they stayed around. But I want us to understand a few things here. I read a report from one of the media outlets saying that was what the information minister said. And basically, they talk about food production and technology. I don't know the authenticators of that report, but I want to believe that when you go to the conference, and I listened to the president conference, the president presentation, Anthony talked about maybe the presentation was not that impressive and giving grade to other countries that based on how they presented their case, that's why they're carrying that amount. I want to disagree with that. Because when I listened to the president, I thought it was something like 45-minute presentation. When I listened to the president, he talked about food insecurity, he talked about agriculture. And basically, I think that somebody was surrounding the intents of agriculture, food security, and how they can strengthen these basic things. And he talked about the globalizing the issue about agriculture, that will even bring some economic benefit. Like I said day before yesterday on the platform, that will bring some economic benefit to various African countries that is strengthening agriculture in all of the basic areas. Like I was saying about that report talked about technology, and the South Korea president assured the government of Liberia by strengthening the issue of food production, by investing in the food, the issue of food production. I think that is a boost to one of the basic things that the president has always talked about in his IRES agenda. So for somebody to sit on the platform to say it was a waste of time of the Liberian people and a failure, I don't want to believe that. Now, before I conclude, some of these conferences of, let's say, summit, it is not like the usual way we think that somebody will just go and get money account. Sometimes you go, commitment are made, they assure you of these things. But how you as a government can wanting to make the people believe that you offer business? I think there where Anthony was stressing the point that past government over the past time and past, because before the people come to your country and invest in some of those business things that they talk about, they should see the level of seriousness in you. You talk about rule of law, you talk about how you strengthen the needs of your people, right? So they should see that you serious on the path as a country that they were wanting to come into your country. So, and I want to disagree. That summit also talked about there was some investment in that, let's say, engagement. The president also talked about that. You don't see that as in achievement. They said they have series of meetings with some investment people who have interest in coming back to Liberia, right? These conversations went on, and they're hoping that those investors will come back to Liberia as to ensuring that we have some investment, because government cannot do all. So I think that is my take. It wasn't a failure. It was something that I think the president should have gone there. If it is the first of a kind, you listen to the president. I think it was important too as well. You go to meet other African countries to strengthen some bilateral conversation. You know, all these things is not only submit, how they call it, suggested to just the summit asset, because there are some conversation beyond conversation. Thank you very much.
The taxpayers are paying the president.
Well,
he's not there for free. He's getting salary, getting paid to do a piece of job. He trip to South Korea not free. He got staffing. He got all of the different things. It cost the Liberian government $500,000 for them to go to South Korea. So when they're coming back with 7 MOU signed, memorandum of understanding, that all it is, not contract to release money.
Anthony, let me ask you one question.
Yes.
Nelson, please let me ask Anthony one question. Anthony, do you have all of the detail as to what was pitched by the Liberian government?
Yes, I have it, and I have all of the 7 MOU that was signed.
Okay, would you?
That's the reason why. That's the reason why I am upset.
Wait, would you mind sharing some of what was pitched?
Not right now, man. I'm on the show. I'm on the show.
Will you mind sending some?
I have my cell phone. Yeah, I have to get up and what
Anthony, let me tell you this. This government,
why you need to do your work before coming here?
JMB will not use taxpayer money to just put a bunch of people on a plane for foolishness.
So when they came to America, what they got from here?
Bro, you saw them to Mohawk College. You saw them to
what did they get from here? What did they get from here?
University of Georgia, right?
I'm not saying that. What did they get from here?
Let me tell you this. I cannot sit here and fathom the fact that Anthony, of all people, is saying that, look, we can disagree on issues, all right? But there is nothing in me that will make me to believe that JMB will foolishly put on flight, like what we saw George we are doing time and time again.
My brother, JMB was just in America. What did he get from here?
Where
the audience are listening to you. Tell them.
Where did that 285 yellow machine concession come from?
We don't have a concession. They are still negotiating.
Oh my God.
We do not have no contract.
Okay, now, where did that negotiation come from?
My brother, first of all, you are approaching the hold on. You are approaching the woman. The woman you agree, you play the wedding. What do you have to know?
Ask me. What did JMB achieve in Georgia, right? And I'm telling you, the 285 yellow machine, right?
They are talking. They are still talking. They are still working on things.
It don't matter.
It matters. You are misleading the audience, the Liberian public. No. They came to let's go step by step now. Let us not, talk over each other.
We have to move to other topics, Anthony.
No. But when we say something, hold on. When we say something here, it has to be succinct. We got to be accurate with our information here.
Exactly.
It is radio, and many people listen to the radio than the Facebook.
So
we got over 50,000 people listening to us right now. You understand?
Yeah, I agree.
Good.
But we have to move. We have to transition, right, Nessie?
We have
to. So we don't have concession of yellow machine. We don't have no contract.
Okay. I agree, Anthony.
Okay.
So the information minister spoke to the yellow machine situation. Yellow machine, DVD, animation, video, everything you saw. These are talks that are still being held.
Thank you.
I heard some people say, "Oh, so the machine is already yet." The machine not yet. The information was premature for public consumption.
Thank you, my brother.
We'll speak to that.
Yeah. So, yes, it was something very good. And again, another thing that came up was that, that information was let out in the midst of a cabinet retreat. It's like staffers having their meeting, and in the general staff meeting, one journalist go there with a recorder, and he recorded the things that people say in their staff meeting, and then he brought it out. It was not mature, and that was the justification. It wasn't mature, but these are discussions that have been ongoing, and and that's where we are with that. So, but how many of you hear the government talking about yellow machine thing again?
They will not talk about it again.
No, but again, Anthony, I know Mr. Kumi wants to come back to politics.
I'm here tonight to speak on the issues.
You have to say, Mr. 1%, my man. Come on.
Yeah. No problem. We are proud of our 1%. I'm a proud 1%er.
You are trying to pave the way for Mr. Cummings, who left from 7% to 1%. That's 6%.
My brother, you want to hear what Cummings are going to do? The Liberian businesses struggling today. $20 million United States dollar were going to be given to the Liberian businesses to jumpstart the economy so they can have liquidity, so they can have access to cash.
Anthony,
You know what I'm saying?
Anthony,
But, I mean that's the reality.
Because Anthony, you guys can't hold us down with these kinds of promises. You know, that political charade and all those kinds of things. Does a millionaire have to be president before he gave loan to Liberian people? Is that what you're telling us?
No. The $20 million, where that coming from Cummings' pocket was going to be money from the government coffers, not from Cummings' pocket.
But you try
Don't
to
say it that way.
Because
no
wonder why you're voting for.
You will not throw that jab at me. I'm too disciplined politically to take such a jab.
So Anthony, anyway, let's move on. Let's move on.
But let me 10 seconds, Anthony. So I saw you and listen here to go back and forth. Anthony, first of all, you don't understand maybe how the Liberian system works. You think are you assuming that he was just going to come and put 20 million in the budget and the lawmakers are just going to pass it? Do not.
No. First of all, there is nothing that the president proposed. There is nothing. Hold on, let me say this. Is it something? No. But you asked me a question. No, you asked me a question.
No, guys, let me do this. I don't intend to have us to divert our conversation here tonight. We got to
Nelson, next topic, Nelson. Come on.
Yeah, we got to make progress in this discussion. Look, one of the mantras the government came on was change, making sure that the right things are done. Liberians were tired with business as usual, and so they equally wanted the change. Liberians in and out of this country gravitated towards the change because almost everybody wanted the change. And that change was reflected at the ballot box when over 20,000 Liberians broke the margin. So here we are. A couple of days ago, the issue with Queen Johnson resurfaced. Before now, during the transitional period, and let's say somewhere around the election, campaign is going on. Joshua Ball, who was a supporter of the CDC, was caught in a brawl and one thing to another, a result to a chaotic situation. Joshua is beaten mercilessly and subsequently died. Next thing is police is investigating. It gets to a point where videos start to surface as to what transpired on that very day when there was a scuffle between supporters of the Unity Party and that of the CDC. Then the name Queen Johnson came into the picture because she was one of the supporters of the Unity Party who was visibly seen on the scene, caught on camera. Police invites Queen Johnson. She says she cannot turn herself in because she doesn't trust the police. The police is a partisan police controlled by the CDC, and she referred to the police in different ways. Well, transition takes place. The government she supported came into power, and up to present, Queen Johnson is yet to turn herself in. Well, next thing that happens is a video of Queen Johnson surfaces on the social media where she is angrily expressing her dissatisfaction over the abandonment of her party's headquarters. No, Anthony, we don't do that. Anthony, no, we don't do that. We don't do that on the show, Anthony. No, Anthony, we don't eat on the show. You know that. Just, yeah. So this video surfaces where she's seen expressing dissatisfaction. Few days after, she gets appointed to serve in government. Now, the point here is Queen is a Liberian. Like any other citizen of this country, she has the right to serve her country. Once she meets the qualification, what it takes to have her serve, she has the right to serve the country. But then, others start to get even more critical. The next concern is, did she settle the quote hula baloo, the back and forth? Did she meet with the police? The police had initially requested that she, assist with the investigation since she was a person of interest. In the midst of this, congratulatory messages are pulling across the social media for Queen Johnson upon her appointment or her selection to serve as Director of Records at the National Port Authority. Now, let's have a conversation on this. There are others who think that this is business as usual. When people like Ben Believe Toba, for example, who is being accused of being involved with the Christopher Sisulu situation, when their issues were not brought to rest, but the previous government gave a blind eye to those kinds of situations. Others are trying to compare the likes of Ben Believe Toba's situation to that of what is happening in the case of Queen Johnson. Some people think that this is not change, this is business as usual. Why others think that this is change. Change is change, regardless of whichever way it comes, it is change. Ture, let's start the conversation with you. What's your take on this?
Yeah, Nelson, this is absolutely disturbing. It really, really is. We as people, and as country, we have to start taking these things seriously. Because what you don't want to do is to set up precedents. And then that would derail any future situation with similar abuses, right? Look, there's the thing. Liberia is the only country where people will do you favor by knowing you to be associated to power. They will go, they will find every means to avoid any sort of, issue with you because they know, who behind you. Now, I campaigned for the United Party. I supported the United Party. But this is an allegation that is so pervasive to a point where somebody died. And you don't have to take that lightly. You have to investigate that. And what you don't want to do is to grant some sort of favor to the alleged perpetrator, because in this case now we don't know what role she played in it. But what we know for sure is like her name was kind of associated with it, right, Nelson? I think it's fair to say that, right? Her name was associated with it. You want to do due diligence because you're not doing it for today. Because if this is not fully investigated, then people may actually look at it to be just because that young man was an opposition. That's why it's not giving that much of an interest. And that is bad. Liberian, I don't care what political persuasion you come from, you need to be treated with respect and dignity. And I don't think that happens in this case. And that saddens me a lot. I think the president should have done, due diligence, as far as knowing exactly what role she played in it, if at all any, before coming with this appointment, because you know, I mean, at the end of the day, we can do the politics, but we are all Liberians at the end of the day. And one of us dies of mysterious circumstances that have to do with violence and stuff like that. I think it is our right as citizens, as people, to make sure that we investigate that. So day like that's not today, when something like that happened, they say, you know what, we all rose up to ensuring that the gentleman that was killed got a full closure. His family obviously got a full closure, and the perpetrator or were brought to justice. And I think that's what I would have done, and that's what I expected. You know, JMB to have actually, you know, at least because you know everything now we just say the president, but you know what I mean. Like these are stuff we have to leave all of the agencies to do their job. You know, and I actually take that back. I don't know why I brought JMB into this, but we should leave the agencies to do their job, void of the executive. But again, we see this problem. Everybody trying to appease the executive with all of their actions.
So Ture, what is your point here on this issue? What is your point?
My point is that appointing her at this time was a slap in the face of that brother that passed away family, and by extension the CDC, you know, political party and the essential, you know, like they should have been investigated. And there are a lot of things that happened during the campaign. I brought some out that day that up to today's day we have not investigated these things. Dillon said he was going to make sure that Gloria Mususka was going to come, you know, they were going to subpoena her or maybe bring her to answer questions as to why she delayed, you know, giving out that voter roll. You remember that, Nelson?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dillon said, you know, she was violating the Constitution, or she was violating election laws and stuff like that they were going to bring her up. So I'm saying that just because United Party won, so we're just going to forget about that. You know what I mean? We're just going to forget about that because the party that he Dillon was supporting won, so we're just going to put that at the back burner. No, we can't do that. We have to have the same energy on these things. That's consistency in governance. We have to do it. Those little things, we feel like they are little, but they will come back in the future and bite us up. If we keep letting these little things go because now we are in power now, so we can't go back and visit these things, they will have a problem, man. We have a problem as a country. You know, we really do have a problem, man. So look, all these little things we keep making a country that about to be 77 or 78 years old now. And we keep making these juvenile mistakes and stuff like that. And he just keep recycling himself all of the time from administration to administration. It's sad, man. You know, it's really, really sad. We should not be talking about some of these things. That stuff should have been investigated by now. You know, like, you know, closure obviously come in. Then the young lady can move on with her life, you know, if she's obviously investigated and stuff like that. So she can't have that, her carrying that big elephant over her head. But again, man, it is what it is, Nelson. We're just gonna pray now.
Sorry, I have to attend to something. You know, this government came on the matter of change, and one of the pillars is one of the pillars of the arrest is rule of law.
Rule of law, yes.
For the rule of law, no business as usual. We're gonna respect the rule of law, which means and listen, man. The other day we had a conversation. There was this press conference, I think, held by the police IG, Colonel Gregory Como. He spoke of some terrible things that happened in the past. The murder or the quote unquote murder of auditors, that they will visit some of those cases, bring them back, make sure that justice is served.
Right.
Is there any reason, tangible reason, why up to present the Queen Johnson situation is yet to be addressed? Is there any reason why Queen Johnson herself is yet to turn herself in to aid with police investigation?
But have police shown any interest? Have police shown any interest? I mean, have they made any effort?
Again,
Have they made any effort since you know?
You may want to put this on the police, Ture, but again, the big question is this individual's excuse at the time when this issue was raised was that she didn't trust the police.
Okay.
And the police was a CDC police.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we have a Unity Party police.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Sulu is no longer police IG. Is your own dearest, beloved Colonel Gregory Kumo in the position now.
Okay, yeah, that is correct.
From turning herself in.
Nelson, let me tell you.
I may be wrong, but
it's gross.
That's the question that are coming to so many
Nelson
people.
is gross negligence. On Joe Weah, when Joe Weah was president, if they wanted to summon that lady, they would have. No one stands against the law and feel like, oh, it's not something of a convenience that I don't trust the police, so I'm not gonna go. No, so I'm not gonna take the police, like off the hook on this. If they wanted to actually get that lady, they would have done everything to get her up. And except let's say she ran out of the country though. But it's gross negligence. They didn't have any interest in it. And that's happening under President Weah. And certainly under JMB administration, I don't think they have shown that interest either. So I mean, this is now sitting here standing say, I can't go here because I don't feel safe. Yeah, you can say that, but you can't refuse. I mean, like, can you imagine where in the world, like if the person are rape for me right now, where I'm sitting here right now, Nelson, they say to Ray, you got to report, brother. I'll leave this show right now and go show face, because you know what? If I refuse, when these guys that come for me, I mean, except I barricade myself in the house and take Gono, but they'll come and get me.
Thank you.
No sitting against it and say, because I don't feel safe because I regime police. Come on, man, that's a nonsense. That's a poor excuse. The police didn't have any interest in this case, and they treated this thing with everything, even the altercation that transpired between ACOB and CDC at ACOB headquarters. That should have been investigated. There are so many things that should have been investigated, because if you fail to do this in Nelson, these are the things we're talking about. Why investors not coming in the country? Because people are sitting now with different griefs, and these things builds up, and it's not good for the country. It's not good. It does not create an enabling environment for economic prosperity, because everybody just sitting there in a corner. So it's bad, man. The law should be the law, and the law should be respected, and the law should be enforced.
Thank you, Ture. Let's hear from you, Anthony. Let's get a take on this issue.
Nothing, when we start speaking, they will say, the man, the ANC man.
Yeah, because Mr. Kumis won't come back in politics.
No, but listen, my passport said nationality Liberian. It ain't say nationality ANC. All right?
Go ahead.
Let me say this. When you run on a mantra that says rule of law, you will uphold the rule of law, you will do X, Y, and Z, and you don't set the tune. Look, President Weah never went around campaigning for people to wear purple suit in Liberia. He never did such thing. He started wearing it. People followed. Today, at least 45% of the population in Liberia can wear purple suit. All right? What people tend to do, they follow the leader. They follow the leader. Whatever the leader does, and the Liberian presidency has so much power. The most government in the world, the Liberian presidency. We are a Unitarian state, and the power inherent in the presidency is just too enormous. So what will it take for JMB to set the two and for a lieutenant to follow? First and foremost, you already knew the cloud over this girl's head. Whether or not, I am not saying she's guilty of anything, but the optics in politics, optics is key. The optics of right after Queen outburst of the headquarters of the Unity Party, the next thing you know, she got this lucrative job. You understand? The job that will pay more than a medical doctor in Liberia. A doctor that spent 8 years in college will not get a salary like Queen Johnson will get when she get confirmed. You understand? But they would rather appoint her to appease her, to make the father feel good, and address the yearning desire of many Liberians. Put this case to rest. Go in, turn yourself in, tell the people what you heard, what was your participation. If that participation set you free, you go home. If it didn't set you free, you will be represented by your counsel. If you can provide counsel for yourself, they still will give you public defender, and you go through the process. Do the right thing. Why? Because you're in. There will be no business as usual per JMB himself. He's the commander-in-chief. He is the chief executive. Right? So, you're not setting the tune. So when we talk, oh, you're mad because you lost the election. Oh, you're doing that. So, because of bad dream building now, we're not going to bed. Right? This kind of thing does not work. If you say you will do this, the man said, I will be the first to declare my asset. And when I declare my asset, I will make it public. Now, by law, quote unquote, you are not supposed to make it public. But it's virtue of the fact that you proclaim that word out of the mouth, that it becomes a commitment. It's like volunteering, right? When you volunteer to do something, you don't get paid for it. But once you volunteer for that thing, then you are obligated to discharge the office that you volunteer for. That's the difference. And today, a different story will get now. Oh, you don't have to do this. Oh, you don't have to do that. Nobody forced you. Nobody put gun to your head and tell the people, say, when you declare an affair, you'll make it public. On international wire, VOA.
You have the discussion, Anthony.
No. The discussion is about rule of law. The discussion is about setting the tune. I said JMB did not set the tune.
Declaration of asset is not about law.
No, hold on now. He's the head. What he started is what he lieutenant and following, right? So because he said there was not going to be business as usual, because business as usual means people will say things and they don't follow it. So he came in and set the expectation this high and said, I will do things differently and it will not be business as usual. But what are we getting today? It's business as usual. So I'm making reference to that business as usual statement to this particular circumstances. Queen Johnson don't need JMB to turn herself in. She can turn herself in. Okay, she said she didn't feel safe at the time to turn herself in to the police at the time because she claimed that it was a regime police. Today, a new government in place, the government you supported, and the government in charge. Turn yourself in, do the right thing. I hope she will do that before a confirmation hearing. If she doesn't do it, I hope the Senate hold her accountable for this. Let us set the example too as well. Because this cloud cannot be over your head. Then you tell people, say, oh, you have a mantra that says, rule of law, and you can't follow it. That means you lie to the Liberian people. Are you back my time?
This is very important. On the 5th of December, the police declared Queen Johnson wanted. Now, I don't know how many of you really follow this story to the end or every step along the way, but there's an officer by the name of Atman Harding. Officer Atman Harding. Officer Atman Harding lost his job because of this same situation. That officer was dismissed. And I want to go back to the clip. There's something I want to play here. Oh, sorry, guys. I want to go back to the clip. I want to get something coming here. But go ahead, Francis. Francis, go ahead on this while I try to bring this clip in.
Yeah, guys. I mean, we all know you have to be you are guilty until you are innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
But sometimes we gotta sit here and look at what's going on. the lady accused of a crime, she was not. She did not give any statement. She claimed partisan government. But my thing here is, but is this okay? I know everybody talking about Senate hearing and stuff like that, confirmation hearing. Is it a presidential appointed position? Nelson, forget my ignorance. I don't know. But is this position a presidential appointed position? Nelson, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
My question is this a presidential appointed position that goes for Senate hearing and all that stuff? So
No, and she's not gonna go for Senate confirmation and stuff like that. No.
But is it the position? Is this the president
No,
has
but
appointed or the managing director of NBA?
Again, this is a decision that is being made that is made by the director, the managing director.
Right. So the president doesn't come. I mean, the president did not say.
No. Francis,
I asked a question for clarification. Right.
Yeah,
I asked for clarification.
Yeah, but I know where you're driving at. I know what you're driving at, so I just want to go there, right? You know that the executive, in general, in its totality, the head of the executive is the president. You have several positions in the executive that are not that does not require presidential appointment by law, but presidents, not just President Boubacar now, but presidents do have a say as to how these ministries and agencies run, and when it comes to who goes where and all of those different positions.
But why you should let me finish, because you the point I'm trying to make, but I just had to ask to get some clarification on the position. If it's one of those positions, the president himself will appoint, but the magistrate. But it's still the same. It's the government. President Boubacar, I mean, he makes it hard to defend this administration. I mean, I'm not a unity partisan, but yes, I proudly supported this government against the administration, against the last administration. But how can you look at somebody who has this cloud on top of her head? Nobody says she's guilty before people start getting their feelings. But somebody with such a cloud above her head, and you bring that person close to you, and you embrace that person. That's what, partisan politics is what destroys our country. Even when somebody is not competent or capable of performing a duty or function, because president I was there the best way with us, we put her in position. Queen Johnson, I'm not saying she gets up, but she has a terrible history of being disgruntled and aggressive in our country. We see videos running around. Why should she was just one of the strong supporters? But what is her qualification in the first place that would get her to be director of records at the National Port Authority? That port I got problem with. What continues they can kind of sit on there for I don't know how many weeks and months, it can't even get released. What's Queen Johnson's qualification in the first place? President Boubacar should have just made sure this doesn't happen. Or fast track that thing. You don't need her to turn herself in. This administration, the police should have gone after her like any other case. This is a death. This is a death situation we're talking about here. You don't need anybody to turn themselves in. Yeah, we will give a little grace for saying, partisan police during the last administration, but everybody sang this song already. Why hasn't she turned herself in at this point? Why is the police waiting for her to turn herself in? Why can't they just go and clear her name if she's not guilty? Then you come and appoint her and say, go work. Joshua family are citizens of Liberia. Taxpayer dollars will pay her thousands of dollars. Man, this president can make it hard to defend some of the things that they do. You got all this issue with rights going on. You got this other thing going on. You got your Madera Cooper crisis going on, your political advisor. The question stood in front of party headquarters. Yeah, rightly so, making noise because the people you appointed in your government, the party chairman, the secretary general, they are working there, panel the party headquarters, the ghost town, and deer can run through the grass I was growing there. So yeah, she made noise there. Then the next, I believe that same day, she said she's not looking for a job, this and the other. The noise she made. Then you come and put her, you come and give her a job less than a week or maybe within a week. I mean, it's bad, man. Even it's bad. Other countries, if you were even accused of something, and you are not even found guilty, the optics alone will make people don't even want to associate with you. But you come and give her a job without even being, without even her name being clear. Is that something that you know that we don't know? Have you guys done a secret investigation already and the public is not aware of it? Then we apologize to Queen if her name has already been clear. But that means make it very difficult to defend that behavior sometimes. Thank you.
I think Nelson is at the back, right? I think I can come up. Can I come in with my task?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Let me say thanks and appreciation to all of my fellow panelists for a very unique analysis on the issue. You think we need to be serious on that? We need to be serious in that country. But the other party folks will not allow me tonight. We need to be serious when we talk about justice. We need to be serious when we talk about how we want government in our country to be not the usual way. Now, basically, the individual we're talking about, let me tell you, go back to history. These are the same individual, Queen Josephine. For me, my portion of my upbringing as an individual, as young man, has not in any way been using a way of violence. And the individual we're talking about tonight, she has always been in the news of not the good one, but all being violent. You talk about the issue of wind selling, may so rest in peace. She was the key architect behind that incident. She went physically and pushed wind selling. You talk about several other things that have been happening in that United Party, between United Party against the CDC and other political parties. Queen Johnson has always been a mastermind. You know what? I just want to make a conclusion. Now, I listen to Francis talk about whether they have not come. They haven't come to any conclusion. You remember once upon a time when the Nelson were talking about one officer who was dismissed in relation to that arrest issue. Her arrest was being resisted because she didn't feel protected and all the basic things. I understand that that time was a political time, but I think any peaceful citizen that wanting that your name is clear out of certain issue and you are being accused of, it's very important that you submit yourself to your lawyer or through other stakeholders that you think they can present you with in the presence of the police as to vindicating yourself. But you see, the Liberia National Police told her that they will be investigating every other issue, issue that has some dark clouds and suspicion. Now, we want to be careful. We're not making any conclusion that she's guilty. But when you want to fight the rule of law, you should be serious as a government. I want to say this before I conclude. Nothing will come from all of that, yeah? Because the individual we're talking about, she's quote unquote called the play daughter of the president. So the Liberia National Police, the issue of people serving at the way of pleasure, it has been misconstrued in our country. The Liberia National Police Inspector General is serving as the way and pleasure of the president. They will not do nothing about that issue. Now, the most disgusting part of it is, now how are you talking about she has been appointed, whether from the presidency or from some director or from some managing director at the board of whatsoever recommendation. But it doesn't say any good message to us, we that come on the platform all of the time, talk about the government being the most experienced, the most unique government. It brings no uniqueness to government because you have somebody who is, let's say, we cannot say, you have somebody who has some level of dark cloud under the hair. I mean, they haven't vindicated themselves in that process. When you took them, you put them to a very crucial area of our country. We talk about the National Port Authority. That is the gateway to our country. When you put in lucrative, because that position is one of the most unique and critical positions. You talk about director of record. I was even concerned. I said director of record for certain department because they have several departments in that area there. But I'm hearing that she is the director of record for the Port Authority. That is alarming. So I wanting to question what is her qualification as well. That is another debate for another day. But we're talking about the injustice dark cloud that is on our head. And one ought to that brand national police. Reverend, we know you. I don't want to believe that you will be one of those who will encourage selective justice in our country. Please do the right thing. Let Queen Johnson be part of the investigation that you said you're going to uncover to bring them to board. So as to people who have dark cloud over the JMB government that they will not fight the rule of law, for them to get that relief of mind that yes, indeed, this government is serious because they are now dealing with one of their own. There are a series of cases that are happening in that country. It has been taking paramount. Of recent, we're seeing series of cases that have been taking paramount. What about something that has to do with somebody who is there? Jaja is, may so rest in peace, but his family now, they haven't had God justice. So let things be done rightfully. People should not always see things from the political party standpoint. Let's do things to be serious in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Sorry. Look, I don't know if Nelson, you stay at the back there. All right. So if Nelson is not the back, if Nelson is not back there, let's get right into it. We know very well, the senators are somewhere in Burkina there, having some kind of so-called retreat over there, right? You know, let me start with you, Francis. What can you sort of preempt? That's something that no bugger will achieve over there.
Three, man, it's sad when we come here. You know, someone talk about our lawmakers. They go on retreat. Didn't they just have a retreat about 2 months ago? Every time they will have retreat, what are they doing for the Liberian people? What they do is, for me, in my layman understanding, they want to go sit down and discuss how to get fat checks. How to get fat checks. Our people, common sense is not common though. Why are lawmakers getting thousands of dollars for projects or whatever the case may be? People should not be touching money other than their paid checks. That's why you have superintendent, you have city mayors. Let the local administrators run the counties. But you know what? Like a letter used to happen back in the day before the war. But since it's happening this way now, every president that comes into power, they know that when they use this, appoint this mayor and superintendent, they take control of the counties. Because there will be no report bad coming from the superintendent, because the superintendent don't want to lose his or her job. But if you run elections in this county, and a CDC superintendent is running Bond County, and you got a United Party president, CDC superintendent will not make any story up to support that president. If you don't send developmental funds to Bond County, that superintendent will tell the people. But they will never do it because when they go back to electing local administrators, it will be bad for the presidents that come after. But it isn't. I mean, they're not to cover the retreat. What they go and share the money, or they decide where to get more money from for themselves. They are not working in the interest of the Liberian people. None of them. Absolutely. None of them.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Francis. Look, at the end of the day, I'm with you. I don't think they're going to achieve anything. It's just another opportunity for them to go and enjoy some of the money that they have taken from the Liberian people. But let's go to you, sorry.
Real quick, man. You know, let me just respond to ask that myself slightly. Yeah, I thought the thing to, you know, because we talk about qualification and stuff. The representatives that don't have qualification, or we assume don't have qualification, which of course we know names, these people are elected, right? So even if the people elect a fourth grader to be represent that business, but somebody that's appointed, somebody that is imposed on the Liberian people, force the Liberian people to accept them, that person should be qualified. So Marcia, that's the difference. Representatives, they are elected. So the people are elected that are business who they elect. But the people that are appointed, they are forced on the Liberian people. Liberian people have no decision in that one because the process put in there. So the only difference I can say about, you know, when you ask the question about what about representative that ain't got no qualification, that's the difference.
Okay, so look, yeah, thanks for clarifying that. But sorry, let's get to you. Look, I don't know anything about what these guys do at that retreat anyway. But one thing I know, they don't do anything in their various posts anyway. So the last thing I should expect something positive to come out of is the retreat. So you been in a country, you know exactly how these things work. What do you think these guys? What do you think? Nelson about as a question anyway. What do you think these guys stand to gain at that retreat? Those old ladies and gentlemen, what do you think they stand to gain, man?
Yeah, thank you for that brilliant question. I think basically the retreat is, I'm still a bit correct, maybe Mesin can give further information, but what I've been following, it is to, like we can say, usual we recalibrate and explain to their colleagues or make some review on some of the things that they've been doing, how they can move forward as a house, and put some basic promises out there, how they want to take the Senate from where they were and how they wanted to go out there. But over the past period of time, we have seen retreat upon retreat. And I don't know how this year is like, but I've been following that there are a lot of money they can spend on these retreats. And it's a good thing to go to a retreat and wanting to review some of the things that you've done. But I've asked myself, what are some of the basic retreats do for us as a country? Mostly you will see senators going to the retreat and wanting to put for some good ideas as to how they made progress. But repeatedly, we have seen things the usual way in our country, how the Senate is run and how bills come, how the bills are passed, and we haven't seen any drastic change as to how we want the Senate to be. So I don't know the main intents about this retreat, but what I know in the past is I've not been seeing the kind of a fruitful result as to how the Senate should be. Basically, when they come from their retreat, because when you come from a retreat, we should see another portion of a Senate. Yeah, out there.
And you're making a very good point, Soiree. So first thing is that this retreat is the first under the 55th legislature. The last time similar retreat was held was in 2022. That was under the leadership of Senator Albert Tukpechie. At the time, he was the Senate Pro Tem. But it is required by their own laws that each house should be able to make their own rules. So we are in the 55th legislature. The 55th legislature should take a look at the rules and see how best they can work on it. So this is exactly what we've been seeing happening over the past days. Alfred, welcome to the show. And Senator Yumli Kanga Lawrence led the senators to Grand Basel. And so the retreat has been held under the theme ensuring a robust Senate oversight. All right. And they've had the opportunity to address a lot of issues. They've had the opportunity to engage, but two key issues that have, made it to the conversation around the retreat has been, number one, amendments to their very rules, like we have for the Senate, for the executive. They have the code of conduct, which says what those public officials are supposed to do, what they're not supposed to do. You have the judicial canon on the other hand for the judiciary. So in the legislature, it is the House's rule. So they have been making some proposals to make some amendments where possible, when necessary, to the very rules. So there are lots of other things they came up with that will be released subsequently. And the next thing is oversight, financial decisions at the level of the Senate. One key thing that the senator said today, and I'm going to play that clip, that a lot of people have been talking about has been the issue of the Senate being audited. She said, following the retreat today, once they go back to plenary on Tuesday and they're able to sit and digest and make sense of all the proposals, Liberians are about to see a periodic audit rather, an annual audit of the legislature, which means legislators or the entire legislature every year. For example, the budget year will get X amount of dollars to the legislature. How you spend the money? Whole day you're calling director, ministers, and other people in the name of your oversight responsibility. How is the legislature spending the money? So we are going to see a periodic audit of the legislature. There are several entities that form part of the retreat. Representatives were invited, for example, the LRA, to discuss with the Senate as to what kind of laws they need to enable them generate the necessary revenue that will boost the revenue envelope of the country. So all of these conversations have been going on, but what do you guys make of the retreat, the aspect that has to do with the audit of the legislature? I mean, I remember when Senator Kane took office, Senator Amara Kane, that's one of the issues he raised. And everybody said to him, oh, you just come in, you stay in New Year, your song will change. But this is one of the issues that have been pushed at the retreat, the need for the legislature to be audited. Now, let's talk about this. Let's start the conversation with you, Alfred, since you just jumped in. And we're going to move to Anthony, Bila, and then Francis will take us on this topic.
Alfred, you there?
Alfred, can you? Okay. So Alfred is not here. So Anthony, you want to go? Then we can bring Bila in.
Yeah, I'm giggling here because, look, let me say this, right? Our Liberian politicians are very crafted. They are very skillful, And guys, sometimes when I'm presenting, I have to paint a clear picture. It's not that I'm changing the topic. I have people making comment, oh, don't allow Anthony to change the topic, all of that stuff. But you got to paint the picture to clearly, give the people the information, the reason why you're painting that picture. So everybody used to call Senator Dillon the light. Up to this time, they've been in the Senate now 6 years, right? 6 years today, you got $500,000 in your bank account. Even people who got doctorate degree don't even have it. But where that life has taken Liberia today? Nowhere, right? This whole legislative audit is a bluff. I want to be on record again, just like I was on the record for the yellow machine. Because they raised the money from $30,000 United States dollars to $100,000 for representative and $150,000 for each senator, it is that justification that will be audited, that this money will be done this way, will be done that way. Honor our constitution. It is unethical for lawmakers to give themselves that kind of money. Lawmakers do not undertake projects. It's not part of the three cardinal functions. So they're coming up with ways cleverly to give themselves extra money. And so first of all, they don't even have a functioning website. A website that you can pay $20, $30, $35, depending on what service you're using to manage per month. The Liberian legislature does not have a functioning website. You understand? That these people will follow rules for them to audit them every year. Even when they audit them, you'll see the report good. Start taking extra 13 million plus United States dollars for yourself and put that money in initiatives that will benefit the country. Agriculture, healthcare, education, you name it. We got competing priorities, and these guys are coming up with clever ways just to give themselves extra money. Another reason, they want to keep the people where they are so that the next electoral cycle, they have enough money, they can do a little project here and there and be re-elected because they saw how the Senate was swept and they saw how the House was swept from the old folks in this going election. That's the strategy, my brother.
Thank you, Anthony. Let's hear from you on this one. Soiree, I see. Okay, so let's skip Soiree and bring. Okay, Soiree, go ahead. Let's hear you on this. Just take 2 minutes.
Thank you.
To wrap up now.
Thank you very much. Like you come in, thank you for that update, Nelson. And Anthony scratched a very good point. You see, but I don't want to jump the conclusion because we're talking about different leadership. So I want to get in a little bit the benefit of the doubt. I know you don't want to exclude the fact that the current presiding officer, Senator Nyombli Kanga Lauren, has been there, and what have been some of the business continuity, but she has the top down. Let's see what she would do different from some of the outcome of those retreat. You talk about amending some of the business rule and protocol, some business things that they want to. Like I said previously, retreat upon retreat has now brings up the kind of outcome that we expect as a people. And there are a lot of unique things, but the implementary aspect of these things has not been the usual way that we think. And honestly, Anthony talked about the border issue. I saw some things in the border, and I tried, as basically for the House of the both houses, the House of Representatives and the Senate. I was like, but these are guys that talk a lot about change. They want to change their governments for the people. And you look at there are many of these guys in the Senate that for the IRS agenda. Then I asked myself a question. I said, but you allotting these kind of amount to yourself. You're not looking at some basic sectors that will speak for the people, because you will talk about being a lawmaker, but you just primarily looking at your needs at one, and the people you serve, you're not looking at it on the overhaul. So what they talk about audit, I don't want to believe that some of the audit will be realistic. Until then, I still hold to the position that the issue about audit should be given to people with the requisite authority in nursing. People like I think the LSCC or the GSC, right? One of the entity has that authority. They should be given the independent authority to auditing the both houses. These guys cannot sit and tell us that they will audit themselves, and sometimes the audit will be suggested. The audit will not. The report one is like denigrating. They will not publish the report. It will be like the usual thing, and there is only implication that we don't want for ordinary people to see out there. So it's a unique thing to audit a particular house as to know. And I want to suggest to the House of Senate, if you are auditing, I think the audit should not just be limited to a particular period of time. Let's see beyond the point. Yeah, because when you talk about audit, I know that audit will be restricted, because if you want to audit that both house, there's a lot in our country. There's a lot in our country, brother. If you hear about somebody audit report, you will feel very disgusted.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Let's take Alfred. Then we're gonna bring Anthony, and then Francis.
Can you hear me?
Anthony, you've spoken already. So is Alfred and Francis.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, good evening. I want to say good evening to our viewers again. I'm between time here today, so I was not able to come on the show early. But what I gotta say, I want to agree with my two brothers. Sometimes when this kind of discussion come up, it kind of, my heart bleeds for Liberia, because we are almost 180 years old. There is not one thing in our country that we can be proud of. We are not proud of our first branch of government to say we have serious people. In my mind, I think when you talk about retreat, it's for people to go and sit down and look at the major happenings, let's say for laws that they have passed that are making impact on the country, and how they can strengthen those areas. Say, for example, we talk about the rape bill, right? Right? And then look at after 5 years, what has happened to that bill? What it has helped, protect our women. We talk about child protection. We look at the bill on child protection. What has it done in terms of affecting the change that we talk about? But you can see that kind of thing happening here. These guys just go and sit down. The whole thing they have behind that canopy of every legislature has the right to review, to make their own laws. I think in my mind, the forefathers, when they were putting the constitution together, the reason in my mind that they talk about making your own law is to strengthen and make the legislature more transparent, and make it more accountable, so that the rules that you're putting down that's not effective enough, they're not making progress in the country, you change it. In my mind, that's how I think. That the issue about reviewing and making your own rules is all about affecting the country. The trickle-down effect of those rules that you put together in terms of accounting to the people. That's what it's all about. Unfortunately, that's not what we see in Liberia. So this country will just be going in a cycle, and nothing will change, for God's sake. Everything sometimes we will say will be on the president and thing. But the legislature, if I were to see Madam Kangana and ask her, what is her national agenda that she want to push in a retreat? As a sitting senator, what is the national agenda that she believes when she comes back, the government will begin the process of making sure that that agenda becomes a reality for the common people? What is it? Is it in education? Is it in security? Is it in agriculture that we talk about all of the time? Is it in infrastructure development like roads? What is it? Nelson, you were to that retreat. Did you hear the guy talking about reviewing some of the contracts that these people the contract that they gave out for people to make to produce our roads, to fix our road? Did you hear anything in the corridor about that? No, you are muted, Nelson. Did you hear anything like that? You were there. Did you hear anything like that?
Okay, so ensuring a robust Senate oversight, all of those things, are captured, but it's just that in different segments. Now let me give you it this way. The retreat has been in different segments, right? So the lawmakers had an open segment for where the media people were, but that was just for the opening. And then the rest of the working session is done behind closed doors. No press, no media. Everything is with the senators. They have the conversations, they have the discussions, and then they come up with a proposal that they're going to be acting upon during this session. They're going to be making some decisions. That proposal is not final. Following the proposal, then of course you can start to see the findings becoming a reality. So this is where we are with that. So it hasn't been
a process. When you talk about proposal, Nelson, let me interrupt you. When you talk about proposal,
just before you interrupt, it hasn't been a process where the media will be a part of the discussion every single step along the way, like you see when the regular session is going on. It has been 90% of a closed door kind of stuff and 10% of media involvement.
Well, I lose my train of thought. But anyway, the interruption was trying to do was basically to look at the historical impact of this so-called retreat. We have had retreat upon retreat. The last one I can remember it was ingrained in my country with under the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. In fact, it was a Diwali retreat. You have people going to Unity Conference Center, and you had the other people going to Bombing, if you can remember, you know, and all of these different retreats that we have had over the years, we can't point to anything that those retreats were able to, you know, effectuate in terms of development. We can't see anything. So for me, I agree with my brothers here that whole thing is just a way of, you know, strengthening their own base because they want to win election again. So to have enough money to keep the people where they are, nothing else will happen. And at the end of the day, there will be no accountability. Because if these people are very serious about accountability, we will be talking about strengthening our current institutions that we have. Like the GSC, giving the GSC an authority to be able to audit them. We already have the institution. Why Manakana Kanga telling all that they will want for every year, Suppose you have another protein who does not care about that. How do you think the audit will go on? How do you think the audit will go on? The day she leave and you have another protein who is not focused on audit. You think it will happen? Only on her leadership that will happen because she's interested in it. So if you have another protein who is more focused on something else, it will not happen. Because we know that the legislature is a place of grandstanding. Too much political grandstanding. Too much filibuster. Nothing can happen over there easily. You know, is that looking at you that one person that the president, where the president can make decision on it, when nobody can say no, or that you that plenty of people before one decision is made, everybody gotta agree. So you see, so for me, that you know, every year we'll see a robust Senate. Every year there'll be audit. That I just found the plane with like bring people, and I don't think anything going to come out of it.
Thank you. Finally, Francis, you want to take us to the phone lines? Maybe we'll take few calls and then we'll wrap.
Yeah, I mean, let me just give more time for the callers or calling because we know our lawmakers that do nothing, folks. They go to retreat, like I said, to play how to fathom their paychecks and come back. But man, let's go to the line. These people are not students.
Yeah, let's listen to our callers. Yeah. People say we act like we expert. Me, I never say I was expert in anything. My line of work, we're not discussing it, and I'm not in a position of discussing my line.
Anthony, let me share something with you. We only show, just disregard the comment section.
Oh no, it can keep it going though.
You know, the comment section is a community all by itself. It's a whole show going on there all by itself. You know, that's why don't take anything at heart.
Oh no. I just, you know, I can't say that also. No, absolutely, I don't take it personal at all. I just mean I can't say.
Let's go to the phone lines. Let's take some calls. Call us on WhatsApp only. The WhatsApp number is up there. You can call in and weigh in your thoughts on some of the issues we've been discussing. I'm getting notification that this thing is not. Okay, so
that phone number not set right.
No, it's okay. It's right. The phone number is right, but the gadget is what I need to make some tweak. But I think we will just do our closing because I have some issues with our lines I needed to settle before now, but I didn't get to do that. Yeah.
I might work. Let me just go for it so I can leave.
Okay, go ahead, Anthony.
So as I stated, the trip to South Korea, Liberia lost. We spent $500,000 on that trip. We came back with MOU, memorandum of understanding, that does not give any contractual, standing. We saw steaming up because of COVID. Our people were flogged in the street, beating. Some of them sustained severe, injury. They didn't get that stimulus package. Today, they send legislature that signed the resolution did not give account of that stimulus package. that the same legislature today will take good money, good chunk of money, and can't give people an account at the end of the year? We doubt it because that past behavior have made us to put them in the position that we cannot trust them until they start doing the right thing. With the issue with Queen Johnson, it is not too late yet. The Unity Party-led administration can rectify this quickly. Queen Johnson, turn yourself in, go for questioning. If you clear, they will let you go. If you're not clear, you find yourself a lawyer. If you cannot afford a lawyer, there is something called a public defender. The state will provide a public defender for you to represent you. That a cheap lawyer that can't afford too high, yeah, that they want to call public defender. So they'll not afford too much because you're not paying them. So do the right thing. Make sure that, send this to government, keep the power, say business. They will not do business as usual. Then you'll do the thing the right way. All we ask you to do it the right way, yeah? We are not expert. We just give you our opinion. And we are Liberian. We are entitled to our opinion. And that's the only thing you can fight. So thank you for having me, Nelson. Guys, great show. Let's keep up the work.
Alfred, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Brother Nelson. Again, this is Liberia we are talking about. And once we have the opportunity to come here to share our thoughts as to how we believe, we think our country should move, nobody should question us, about how we think about our country, because we want the best for our country. You know what I'm saying? We are in the diaspora. Like Dylan can say, Liberia is the only country you cannot be deported from. Some of us might have status here, but that status is there because of opportunity. All right, but that same status can be taken away from us at any time. And the only place the status cannot be taken from us is in Liberia. So while we are here, we are also contributing to the economy of Liberia. So that what makes it more important that we contribute to the conversation, so that our national leaders who are in the position that are supposed to make things happen, they will have the listening ears, so that we can move the country in the right trajectory. We are now in the 21st century, and I don't think anyone will want to see Liberia to where it is in the next 10 years. Like I always say, Joseph Imam Boakai, President Boakai, is the last individual in his generation to reach to the level of the presidency, or to be at the national leadership. And he has an opportunity to shift this country for the best. We can sit here and talk about presidents that came and left and see what their country is today. John Pombe Magufuli of Tanzania, go read about his legacy. This is a man that came to Tanzania, was very corrupt, but today, go to Tanzania and see what's going on in Tanzania. You see a rapid revolution in Tanzania, and everybody wants to leave a legacy. All right, Burkina Faso right now to speak with the captain in charge. See the rapid development that's taking place in Burkina Faso. We want to see better for Liberia. We want to be proud of our country, where we can go and say, yes, we all contributed to this glory that we are enjoying today. We are in the United States today because of individuals who stood up. Not Martin Luther King Jr. He didn't do the thing that he did because he wanted glory for himself. He did it for individuals that he never met, he never know. So when we come here to talk about our country, we are of the opinion that those that are in leadership will listen to some of the things that we have to say, so that they can change. That the ANC leader can say, past performance predates future performance. So we have lived in a country where the people believe that they can keep the people down by just giving the people a hand up. And we think that is wrong. It is time that we change the way we have been doing things. We need to change our mindset if we want our brother to be better. On the issue of corruption, I don't think the legislature Senator Kanga Lawrence will do anything. That retreat, that just another way again the job will waste money over they come out in town, and the same thing that been happening over and over, that it will happen until they can change some of our mind. Because Nelson, like I can always say on this show, right? I never traveled out of Liberia. All the war I fought in Liberia was there. I went through it. As a kid growing up in the war, my family lost everything because of the war. We are on the side of the war today because of the grace of God. So when we come here to talk about Liberia with passion. We want the best for Liberia. And I just hope that the people in leadership will listen to us and do the right thing for the country to move forward. Thank you so much.
Bila, do your closing, then Francis will take us home.
Well, thank you, Nazim, for having me. And I think it's a good thing to come to the conversation. Always, we wanting to strengthen the conversation with our thought and in the interest of our country. I would like to say thanks to all of those that take upon the time to come and view or comment. I think it's a good thing. All of our contributing one way towards the conversation. Basically, we talk about a few things. We talk about the issues of Queen Johnson. And one of the Liberian National Police, if you say you're not coming to do things as usual, like the president always said, you want to be in that line, it is to do the right thing. Let people don't have dark clouds on some people, on somebody, then that person being appointed in government. Then you as law enforcement, you don't want to pursue, like you said, you will want to pursue with other investigation. And we know we trust your leadership. Please do the right thing. We talk about the issues of the Senate. The Senate, we have always seen things being as usual. Like my brother Alfred said, we grew up in our country, we have seen things upon things. So for me, there are certain things will not just fool my eye. I want to see the actions of these things that has been said over the past period of time. So basically, we ought you to do things in the interest of the people. You cannot say, I'm here for the people. Then, I mean, your budget or what you are taking home is not in any way reflecting on the people, but just for yourself. That is contradiction. We talk about the trade of the president. I want to believe that the president trade was a very successful trade. I know opposition want to say what they want to say to make it look bad, but I think we have to be realistic when it comes to the conversation, right? You listen to the president; he was honest in his statement, and he was very, very meticulous as to how he answered that question when Sylvester to the play asked that question from spoon activity. So I think there are other basis duty as to how the president talk about the trade. When you talk about they met some investors that will have interest in coming back to Africa, precisely Liberia, to make some investment, and the conversation went on. So let's hope to see these things coming. So I think it's a big good conversation. Let's try on the part of conversating. The old days of wanting to be brutality as far, and let me end this. Let encourage young people to not always be violent. Brutality. I mean, we aspire that things. Let intellectualize the issue. Let's share our thoughts. We can disagree. That's fine, but I mean, these conversations help to making that national leader understands that yes, these are things that we should do. Thank you very much for having Oil Nursing. It's always a pleasure being here.
Francis?
Yeah, guys, thanks for being here. You know, thanks to all of our viewers, listening audience in Radio Land, folks that burn our data or stay up late with us. We appreciate you guys every day. After beating up on the lawmakers and everybody else, you guys know my song, but now I'll be singing it. Let's raise this smoke alarm, people. Let's raise this thing to get this smoke alarm sent to Liberia. At least let's put it on the ship. Let's ship it by next month if we can. You know, 1,000 smoke alarm, it sounds like a lot, but if we all band together, we could probably send $2,000-$3,000 by next month. Not $2,000-$3,000, 2,000-3,000 smoke alarms by next month. There's 17 districts in Montserrat County. If we can even send, there should be 100 smoke alarm in each county. That would be 1,700 smoke alarm. You know, our people are seriously struggling with this fire situation. You know, babies are dying, people are losing their livelihood, people struggle to build a little thing around there and stuff. Fire happening, you know. So, I mean, that my sister Snell said at the beginning of the show. You know, sometimes we raise money for somebody to campaign in Minnesota for to be represented in Minnesota. That's not impacting Liberia directly, our people in Liberia, you know, but why can't we do the same here? So every penny raised to about this raffle and stuff, or to send smoke alarm to Liberia, every penny will go to Liberia. Every penny will go to buy smoke alarm for our people. It will not stop the fire, but it will give them a fighting chance. Early warning is very important. Most of the people that are dying fire in Liberia is because by the time they realized their houses were on fire, all the exits were blocked. But we already know that when there's smoke in the house, even small smoke, the smoke alarm will go off. People will get up and they will evacuate before the fire get out of control. So this initiative is very near and dear to my heart. But I appeal to every well-meaning Liberian to please join us and help us send smoke alarm to our folks in Liberia. I know we can do it. I believe you guys will help us, and I look forward to it. Thank you.
I think it's been a great show. I want to say thanks to everyone for being here tonight. It's a good thing that we were able to have the show tonight, despite I'm a bit away. But I think we had a good show. And again, I want to re-emphasize the importance of this raffle. If you're following, you're a Liberian, you love this country, you want to see significant progress with respect to the issue of fire outbreak in our country, you want to see more lives being saved, then it's just prudent enough that you join this process. With just $50, you can contribute to the process of getting smoke alarms in our country. Francis already pulled up his PS5 and just buy a slot with 50 USD. You will automatically join the raffle draw. Not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday, let's say 2 Saturdays from now, we'll have a draw and we'll be running that draw. And somebody will be winning the PS5. But the goal here is to get more smoke alarms. And we hope you can reach out to Francis and let's do this. We're going to have a specific date when we can push this. Alfred, Soiree, myself, everybody will make our contribution to this process because it's about saving lives. And I want to say thanks again to you, Francis. Thanks to you, Alfred. Thank you, Bila. Eric Denta say you won't win it. So thanks to everyone.
Eric already contributed, even though it was not for the raffle, but he contributed a significant amount to purchase smoke alarm. So I really do appreciate Eric, Tommy Jr., our boy Nathaniel Zizze from Sweden. He's also purchasing smoke alarm to send to me. I appreciate everybody that tried, that we could help, but we can do more.
So we look forward to being here again. Until then, have a good night, guys. I have to take some rest, and see you guys tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but on Monday, hopefully. Bye-bye for now. Okay, so I want to say thanks to everybody for being here tonight. We look forward to seeing you on the next edition of the show. Have a good night and bye-bye for now.
Yes, what you got,